How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA analyst, and today we've got another FIFA 20 coaching session for you. We are taking a look at a consistent Gold 1 player looking to make that break into Elite 3. The game that we're looking at was taken directly from our live stream where we had a friendly. So obviously he was playing against myself, so it was quite a difficult game. It was quite close as well. We are taking a look at how the actual coaching session can be looking at in terms of how you can improve your attack, and then also a little bit of things on defending as well. There are common mistakes that goal players tend to make, so we do touch on that quite a bit in this game, and a lot of it can be just the stuff that you make on a regular basis that can really stop you from getting into elite just because you make those mistakes, and it causes that 1 or 2 losses a weekend, so you miss out by 22 wins. One more win would have got you the 23. If you do enjoy the video, please do let me know by dropping a like, and you can subscribe to the channel by hitting the little icon down below. We do also upload every day at 5 p.m, so you can click the bell icon if you want to get tuned in on that and notified. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. A link is in the description if you want to head over onto there to ask any questions. I'm more than happy to help. But let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Okay, so we're going to start off here where we lose the ball by just playing a bit of a silly pass into Hullet, just with pressure on De Jong. But it's more about so in the defensive side of things here to start off with this session. It's just the whole how easy it was for me to kind of move forward, if I'm honest, and kind of get into the box and take my time to pick out a pass. Managed to come back with a good tackle there with Sissoko. But let's have a look and see exactly what you were doing in this particular case, which caused it to happen. We kept player switching here, and we just kept switching. We didn't know exactly who we wanted to get to. We finally find someone in Sissoko, but we don't do anything with Sissoko, which gives me the chance to walk through, make a run directly into the box, which obviously where the danger is. So what could we have actually done in the case like that? So as we kind of move through into here, you have a choice. I play the pass down. You really should be moving into Sissoko now or to Mendy, whichever one, your choice. You move to Mendy, which is fine. I would like to see, because that pass obviously is something that I'm probably going to be playing on, you've got to be looking at matchups. Martial up against Mendy. Martial's probably not going to be able to take you on directly here. So if you switch to Sissoko, especially in the case where we're at now, which you do, which is fine, you come and cover that Ben Yedder run. But the problem is that here now, we don't switch back and go to our centre-back. This Sissoko at the minute is not in this phase. He's not putting any pressure onto the ball holder, which means for me it just gets very, very easy to get into that area. By the point that we do get to it, you do change to your centre back and you make a panic tackle, which people tend to make when people get into this area here, right? People just go, oh, I'm going to panic tackle. You have said that obviously one of your things is sometimes a bit defensive is where you find your weakness. If you play a switch here to your centre back, I think it's Carlos, you can literally jump straight on him and try and get a bit of pressure on. You do switch now once I've made the drag back, and can you just see that little bit of a tackle, which just again takes him out of the game. Really, from my end, it was quite bad here. You do well to get back in and make that tackle to obviously win the ball back. What could I have done differently? Obviously, for me to get a goal here, I like the moves that I do. I think that pass, if I'm going to play that pass in, I think I have to look for a first-time pass into Lacazette to then have a shot at goal. I don't think I really have time here to take a touch, obviously, because Sissoko is just going to jump on me as shown. So yeah, just with the whole build-up there, I would have liked to have seen a bit of pressure from Sissoko, maybe a bit of a quicker player switch to actually pick him up in the first place. And obviously, what I preach for people is don't just panic tackle. Only press a tackle button if you're like 95% sure you're going to win that ball. I'm just quickly going to interrupt this YouTube video to say that there are quite a few of you that are watching these videos that do enjoy them, that aren't subscribed to the channel. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below. It does massively help us. But now let's get back to the video. Okay, so you've said that being creative in offence is one of your issues. Do really well here to get into the situation with Messi where you're one-on-one. It should be a goal. I mean, Areola makes a cracking double save. But you play this pass, perfect timing. I mean, you can see here that I'm covering with Militao. I mess up a little bit, if I'm honest with you. I drag the Militao out of position, which gives Messi that free run. You really mess it up by taking the ball roll onto Messi's weak foot. Messi's got a decent weak foot, but you should always be looking to play it on his left foot if you've got the time and the space to do so. That touch kind of lets you down, if I'm honest. But I feel like if you ball roll that way, you can just go for a finesse there. If you are going to go for this near post, right, I wouldn't have done the ball roll upwards. I would have carried on running here, and I would have gone for the outside of the shot, outside of the boot shot. Which the way you do that is by Messi being straight on at the goal. As soon as you put him on a bit of an angle, he's always going to take that on his right foot. Can you just see how he's on that tiny bit of an angle there? If he was that way, he would have gone for an outside of the boot shot at the near post, and then that would have gone in. But he did really well there. This little pass from Militao, I actually really like as well. A lot of people don't tend to do it. And for me, it's a fantastic little thing. So here, you've just got the situation where you've got that line of my midfield. If you can get past that that line, I mean, look at that space, to be honest. That's quite bad for me to have that sort of space. You've got to pass on to Semedo to go down the wing if you wanted to. But that little dink, people don't do it as much, which they really, really should. I really, really like that. I like the vision, so that was props to you on that. And again, playing it into Hullet. Obviously, Hullet's dangerous. That was a lovely little move, a lovely pass. But can you just see the touch takes it away a little bit? But I think ball roll, go for the finesse. If you're ever unsure with Messi, just get it on that left foot, to be honest with you. And, the finesse shots that he's got are absolutely unreal. But you worked the chance well there. We just needed that little bit more composure. So again, you work a real good chance. I feel like once you get into this situation, it was a little bit slow. I like the little overlapping run from Semedo. Just makes it a little bit harder for me. I dragged my player out of position. You have a couple of options there. I mean, the pass into Messi is a little bit risky because Militao's there. He'd probably get the intercepting, but I like the idea of coming into Mane here. I would have literally took it straight from Mane to Messi, and then Messi looks for that far post finish if you wanted to. The problem that you've got is that you take a touch with Mane, and then you take another touch, and then that plays it into Messi, which gives Mendy the chance to catch up, basically. That almost just needed to be touch pass. You've just got to go for that nice and quick. But you worked into a real good space again. You then keep up with the ball here, but you give it away. I don't know where this pass is meant for. I imagine it's meant for Son, which is just a little bit risky. To be honest with you, look at this space you've got to run into. You can run into that space there and try and take the defender on. Whether you want to do something like a ball roll upwards. The heel to heel can work in certain situations. Depends on the opponent, if I'm honest with you. But you could do something there just to kind of get into it. I feel like, really, you shouldn't be giving the ball away when you've got that space to run into. As I say, this area here is like the key area on the football pitch. If you can get into that area, always go for it. So really, really soft for you to give the ball away there. So just try and have a little bit. Always true thinking about the options that you've got going forward. So it's going to be time for me to kind of head over and get into your box now. I'm happy with all this defending that you do here, with the cutting the passing lanes with your two centre mids and putting that bit of pressure on. Even like with Hullet here, you cover this pass in, and as soon as you realise a pass is covered, you put a little bit of pressure on De Jong, which just makes it good. You close off that option. However, what I don't like here is that obviously I've got a good little opportunity to play this ball into the box into these two players. Watch what you do again. Boom, panic tackle. You just need to cut that out completely, really. As I say, the only reason why I say that is because when you tackle and you don't get the ball, you almost take that defender out of the game for like half a second. So he just doesn't have that chance to catch up. I think I was a little bit unlucky, but you did do quite well with Semedo to get back into it and make that tackle at the last ditch. So yeah, just keep an eye on these little panic tackles that we're doing. Okay, so from this is where you're going to concede, and this sort of stuff you just have to be sure of, right? I understand you've not really got much on, the options here, because obviously I'm on press after possession loss, you see, so the players are just in those killer sort of situations. Here, you've either got to just go straight back to the keeper or dink it over to Militao, one or the other. But you're very risky in trying to dribble your way out of here, because if you do try and dribble your way out of here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players up against 1, 2, 3 on my team, and then maybe one of the centre mids. You do try and dribble your way out of it, which is very risky against someone without being big-headed, a good player like myself. So let me work it in. I don't think there was too much wrong on that front in defending. Really, I think it was just a well-worked goal as soon as we got into that point. You do switch to the Militao and you're trying to cover that. What I'd probably like to see is you do it like a little bit too late, that half a second too late, if I'm honest with you. I'd like to see a quick switch from Militao. So like now, switch to your closest defender by clicking L1. I'd switch to him there and I'd try and get a tackle in, try and do something. Whether you just hold L2 and you just want to be patient and try and block off that pass by just moving that defender there, so that's no longer on. Whatever it is that you want to do, but because there's no pressure on the ball holder, the AI is not going to stick with that Martial. So that gives me the chance to play the balls over again, and then a good finish from Dembele. But by that point, we kind of got past you. So, but yeah. One thing that I do like here is that you send Hazard on a run. I believe you've pressed L1 to get him going. You work it down right to the width and you use the full pitch, which is what I really, really like. I feel like the pass, it's a little bit unlucky. I don't think it's ever really going to pull off there, though, just because of obviously how the situation's lined up in terms of the defenders. The ball roll is good to play the little pass in. I'd like to see him possibly try and come up a little bit further up to here. If it's on, I mean, a little bit more dribbling. Possibly. You maybe could do it. You could try and take Militao on if you wanted to. But a little bit unfortunate. But I just want to say I like that, you've used the full width of the pitch and going right to the byline as well. Okay, so I know you were annoyed at this in the stream where you said, oh, what a good switch that is. You are a little bit unfortunate, right? However, you are playing it on Semedo's weak foot, and also you've got to think about risks, okay? So you've got a green pass, which is no risk. You've got a yellow pass, which is possible risk, and then you've got a red pass, which is like very, very high risk. You haven't, Martial, my right winger, isn't actually covering your left back, so really this is probably like an amber, a yellow risk pass. However, what I'd be saying is, why not just play the pass into there and then you can look at, whether the switch is on and make it a little bit more comfortable. If you make the pass to your centre-back and then look for the switch, it's lower risk. The centre-back will be on a better angle. You're playing it on Semedo's weak foot. By that point, you do kind of dive in. So you're obviously annoyed that you've just switched it and it's not gone where you wanted it to. But here, I don't think you've pressed... because I haven't seen a power bar. I don't think you've tried to header it or anything. So really, all you've tried to do is just run into me there to win the ball back. Really, I think if you just stand your ground, hold L2, wait for the ball to drop down. As soon as Ben Yedder tries to take a touch, like there, that would have been the perfect opportunity for you to step in, and you probably would have won that. But what that seems to be to me is pure frustration that you've not made the pass that you've wanted to, and you're annoyed, and you've tried to win the ball back, and you've panicked from that situation. When, obviously, you've been a Gold 1 player, you've got the basic understanding of FIFA, you can play very, very well. To me, a lot of the reason why people don't get elite from Gold 1 is a lot of mentality, and that's something like that where you've made a mistake and you've tried to rectify it straight away, and you panic and you rush in. So that's kind of what it seems to be. So I say this thing a lot. You're 2-0 down. It's the 31st minute. You need to try and get back into this game as quick as you can. However, you've still got to be very smart with the ball. You need to look at that pass and think about it more logically in the way of, where is your attacker to where my defenders are, okay? So Hazard is here. Hazard is either going to be up against Martial or Semedo. This is where you've got to know your matchups. Hazard is quick, right? But he's not lightning quick, as in terms of, it's not like Flash with Mbappe or something. So you playing this pass when Hazard is already a few yards behind Martial, let alone Semedo, it's not going to happen. Even if Martial wasn't there, Semedo is easily going to come over and sweep over and grab that ball. So just be a little bit more patient with it. I would say go down to your left back, and you know how you played that Y pass down here? Triangle pass down here earlier on where you got down into the byline, you'd look for something similar on that sort of situation to create the chance. It's hard to say how can you create more chances in offence when you give the ball away so much. You've got to make sure that you're being smart with it. Okay, so this is the third time now that we're mentioning this. This cannot be happening for you in Weekend League. Did you even see what I'm on about? Watch what you do with Sissoko here. This is the third time in this game. Boom. Panic tackle. Took him out of the game for half a second. You make a panic tackle here, which I kind of understand because I've broke the back line and, that's your last-ditch attempt. So I kind of get that. But that little tackle that you've made with Sissoko there, can you just see now that it's given my Sissoko the extra couple of yards? If you didn't make that tackle, I'm not saying, you wouldn't have been there, or you definitely would have been there, but there's a possibility to watch Sissoko. You pressure up, you make that tackle. If you didn't make that tackle, Sissoko might have dropped off that 1 or 2 yards, which then means that you've got Sissoko here, and you've also got Hullet there. That then means that this Ben Yedder pass might not be on. You see what I mean? So now, as soon as I've said it in previous coaching sessions, as soon as I break your Hullet in Sissoko and I get into this area, I am now on a 1v1, essentially, against your centre-back. That is the worst situation for you to be in. All I've got to do is a skill move, a ball roll, whatever I want to do to beat your defender. It is hard, it's not the easiest thing to do, but obviously it is a high chance of me getting through and then getting a shot at this lovely thing. So what happens here is that I do a ball roll, and the reason why I've done the ball roll is because you're manually defending. If that was against the AI, I probably wouldn't have done it, but because you're manually defending, I have done. So we know the mistake there. As soon as I've got through there, we know it's difficult. What can you do differently here? You've almost just got to hold L2, and you just have to stand your ground, wait for me to commit, and you have to try and react to whichever one I do. So if you would have just stood your ground here, you probably would have just made a simple tackle on me if you don't dive in. If you go and jump in with your centre-back and you press tackle, that ball, that roulette might actually beat you and get past you. So quite lucky there, obviously, because we did take you directly on. But yeah. So going to the point to just show you that you're not the only player that makes, like silly switches. For me here, I've tried to switch this to my right back and it's not gone where I want. Do get away with it. You've got to look at it again. That was a risky pass in itself anyway. But this pass here, again, all I need to do is just go to my centre-back and then switch out to the right back. I don't know why, as FIFA players, we try to complicate things. But I just thought I'd show you that there to say that, you're not the only one that's done it. It is a common thing. So I just thought I'd show the halftime stats. Possession-wise, I'm not so concerned with it against someone like myself. When you have had the ball, you've moved it from left to right. Obviously, we haven't really done too much with it. We haven't really created anything that's made us go all squeaky bum time. Pass accuracy, we always try and aim for 90%, but we'll let you off because you're only 1% under, eh? So you're about to work a chance quite nicely. You move the play over into Sissoko in the middle, and we're going to look at using Messi. You have a nice little drag back here. Which I like. You did me really well there. That was a lovely time drag back. You then work it in to Messi again. I feel like you're a little bit unlucky on that front, obviously with the pass. I can understand why you've tried it. You're looking for Hazard to go over and then possibly look for a near post finish. All I'm thinking, you say about creating more chances, right? I understand why you've tried that because it is like what most players would try. If you're looking to really take the game to the next level, at the minute, your eyes are only focused on this. They're not focused on this area here. Ask yourself every time before you make a pass, before you take a shot, it's got to be a millisecond decision. It's something you have to develop. You've got to think, is there anything else on before I do this? Once you start practicing it, it comes with natural ability and you will start to pick up on it more often. So I had one session with Joey, for example, and Joey seemed to be, every time he got in this area, or even here, he was always shooting. He was never looking for the next pass, which is I got a higher chance of scoring. You could do, especially because I'm controlling Tomato, you could do a drag back here, pass it into Son, near post, and that's a goal. You could do that. But obviously, we go for the pass, which looks the most easy, and unfortunately, it doesn't work out. I do just want to show you something from here on how I use my fullbacks to get forward. I make driving runs with them, if I'm honest with you, and just use them as second runners. So you've always got that man over. Just moving Mendy up there. I've got Semedo on the right-hand side on balance as well, so he's getting forward. And you can just see he's in that situation there for me to play a pass on. He then makes a move into the box. Bad dribbling by me, which means you get a tackle in with Sissoko. Press after possession loft, wins me the ball straight away. We move the ball around quick one-touch football, essentially. Try one little extra pass, but unfortunately lose it with Ben Yedder. Again, the press after possession loss wins me the ball back with Martial. Moving it around again, we'll see where this chance develops from. You just see how it's like kind of quick football in this sort of case. Little skill moves, little drag back, just getting me into those sort of areas. But I just thought I'd show that with Mendy, especially in this sort of situation here where we get with Dembele. If your fullbacks are on stay back while attacking, this pass on to Mendy wouldn't be here at the minute. He'd be too far back for me to play that pass. So they can just give you that extra avenue going forward. So at the minute, what seems like our main issue is just like pass selection and kind of rushing things when we get into this final third. I don't know what you think. I don't know how you found this game playing against me. But like this sort of pass here, we're 2-0 down. It's a 66th minute. You're trying to pass through a player, right? It doesn't work. Like, you know, obviously sometimes it will in FIFA because FIFA's FIFA. But that sort of thing, I stand up tall, get close to you. That sort of pass it's just not there. You have to do something else. You know, you've either got to try and beat me with Messi, do a skill move, whatever you want, try and get on his left foot. I'd probably juke something like a fake shot there. Just a nice little easy skill move for you to do. No, nothing too difficult. And the only thing that you're trying to do is you're trying to bide yourself a bit of time, a bit of space. But can you see what I mean with not having your fullbacks on balanced at the minute? You've got your right back. He's all the way back there. He's not in the game. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then possibly Hullet if he moves up a little bit further, available in attack. Whereas if you had your fullback, he would be in around this sort of area, which just gives you that extra sort of option for you. But very poor from you on that front, obviously, to give the ball away that easily. So one thing I want to touch on from that is that obviously you gave the ball away here. I just want to show you how I move the ball around as well when it comes to like creating more chances. So there's not really a counter-attack option on, but just have a look at how I use left to right and then back right to left, just using the full width of the pitch. If there's not really a chance that Martial's gone now, I sent him on a run, but it wasn't looking good. So I've just moved it over to the left-hand side to try and see if we have any more luck down there. Obviously, we pull your right back out of position quite drastically. You do defend this fairly well with Sissoko in the middle. You just stand up tall. You don't dive in. You didn't panic tackle, nothing like that. That's how we want you to defend. That was good enough there. And we just move the ball around again. Just quick touch. We do lose it in a second here. You get a nice tackle in with Mane. Again, so with that, right, you make that tackle with Mane. I'm happy for you in this sort of area when it's Mendy, right? You can make that tackle with Mane to put that bit of pressure on because I feel like that is a chance where you've got to win the ball. Mendy's not a great dribbler. I'm not really going to do a skill move to beat you. If this was someone like Neymar, it's a little bit different. But when it's Mendy, you can make that tackle and win the ball back. So that was good stuff. Well done. Right, so we're going to get the ball now. And again, we're going to move from left to right and make our way down to the touchline and then the byline. We literally use the whole of the pitch, which is what I really like in this attack. There isn't anything that you do here that kind of stands out to me as right or wrong. The little fake shot there did him with Sissoko. But a Duke going backwards twice and then go in. I was a bit unlucky with Lacazette. I mean, obviously, it's kind of facing the wrong way. But we use that. I don't know there if you're holding second man press with Mendy. If you watch it, it comes in. For him to make that charge, I can only assume that you're holding R1. So what I want you to do is tell me how often you tend to hold R1, and that would explain that. But nice little pass. What everyone's expecting here is for Sissoko to come back down here. Everyone expects that. That's how people defend. Watch what you do. That's what you try to do. Sissoko then beats the man, gets down there. Lovely little pass back across, and just unlucky with Lacazette. I probably could have played a little back heel to Dembele, if I'm honest with you, to try and get that in the back of the net. Here, what could you have done differently? I think you defend it okay. I think you just stop though, so you let go of the analogs completely. I don't think you're holding L2 either. If you're holding L2, it would make Mendy a little bit bigger, so we could do that there. If you hold L2 and just kind of shimmy in this sort of area, you can react if I do go that way or if I do go that way, as I do. But we don't. And again, a nice little juke for myself, and then unlucky to kind of knock that in the back of the net. So yeah, if you can just let me know regarding the second man press where you hold R1 and how often you do it. This year, for me, it's not something you should be doing that often. I'm not going to touch on this too much again because I think you get the picture by now. You can't pass through a player, right? We know that. We need to change something. You haven't made a sub yet. You haven't changed formation. We're 2-0 down. If this was a FUT Champs game, I want you to change something at this sort of situation. Let me know if you've got any backup tactics in your locker. If not, we can help you create some. And just please stop trying to pass through a player. So I do think, by the looks of it, you are using second man press quite a bit. If not, that from Mendy was just absolutely terrible defending. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it kind of seems like there might be a bit of second man press there. If there's not, Mendy's not tracked that run. What I would like you to do here is I'd like a quick switch up on the right analog stick, and you've got to track that run yourself. Don't trust the AI. When someone's making a run through your back line, you have to switch to that defender and cover the run yourself. Because if you leave it to the AI, they just don't. I mean, you can just see there. What's he doing? He's not even interested in it. Bit stupid for myself. I was trying to look for the pass into Ben Yedder, I believe, not the pass into Lacazette. So that's how the game is going to finish. Defensively, what we're looking at is kind of our main issues. As I said, I want to have a chat with you about team second man press and if you use that at all. Mainly, the problem that I have is those panic tackles. I want you to try and take that out of your game completely. If you can just think before you press tackle, 95%, am I going to get the ball or am I going to at least put a good tackle in? Then yeah, you can make the tackle. If not, just think about the tackles more often. Don't panic too much with them if you can. So obviously we dragged a couple of people out of position in terms of the second man press, if that's what you were using. You've got to make sure, as I said, that if they've got a runner going in behind the defensive line, you need to track that yourself. I know you've said mainly you want me to look at attacking and what you can improve on that to create chances. What I would like to see you try, because defensively you were pretty sound. You know, there wasn't, especially for someone against me, I didn't like create loads of chances in that game. Maybe try moving your fullbacks onto balanced. What that does is it just gives you a little bit more freeway going forward. You've always got that extra man on. Just give it a go for a few games. See how you find it. What you can't do is you can't give the ball away as much as you did, because if you give the ball away as much as you did, you open yourself up for the counter. So then if your fullbacks are unbalanced, that opens a chance for the opponent to score. You've really got to be particular with your passing. You did give the ball away in some quite crucial areas where you can't pass through a player. You know that. Everyone knows that. So just think about it a little bit more often. We never really got into a situation in that game where you could test your finishing or your composure on that front. What I would like to see, though, as well, is before you take a shot, before you take a pass, just always think, like we had that space with a runner coming in with Son. If you would have played that in, it would have been a guaranteed goal, to be honest with you. So just always think, have I got something else on here? And if you have, give it a go. You know, the drag back could have come through there and played the pass into Son for the goal. You have got some skill moves in your locker, so I'm happy with that. I think one of the real crucial things to actually create a little bit more space and create some chances is just adding things like the first time fake shot into your striker to dupe the centre-back can really, really work, but also using the full width of the pitch. If you use the full width of the pitch and then work yourself down towards the byline and then look for the pass back across, that is another fantastic way for you to score as well. So that is where we're kind of going to do on that front. Obviously, we've got another session booked in as well. So have a look at these points, work on them as much as you can, and then we can have a look at the second game in a couple of weeks' time to see how you've managed to improve. So then, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this YouTube video. If you have, as I said before, if you can let me know by dropping a like and put your thoughts down in the comment section. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.